What is going on, everybody? Bryce here with the Inbound Secret and Funnel Driven LLC. I've got my man Cole Alt here with 700 Credit Repair, and we're going to do a little back and forth and let him tell his story and get y'all fired up for the rest of the week. How's that sound? Cole, let's do it.
Thanks for having me on, brother. I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a little back and forth trying to get our schedules to work, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I know everything's been crazy for me since $1 Million Mastermind, man.
Oh, me too. It's been but it's been good crazy. Like, I've been having affiliates now shoot over information, and I've had referral partners shoot me over contact info. And like yesterday was scheduled to be a slow day. I had like 3 appointments on the calendar. I ended up finishing work at like 6:30 because I just kept getting more and more inbound stuff coming in. And I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, you can't be mad about it, man. That's a good problem to have. It means you're growing.
Exactly. Yeah. Growing pains come with it, but is what it is.
That's right.
So tell me about what you've got going on since $1 Million Mastermind, besides helping your guys fix tires.
Besides running around and fixing flats. So, man, my biggest thing I'm about to start doing that I'm kind of dropping here in the next couple weeks, I'm going to do kind of a e-course. It'll basically be like the shit you should have known, shit you should learn in high school about credit. Just basic knowledge, education, because that's the biggest thing with credit is really just getting to understand it and understand how the formula works, what's good, what's bad. So my problem is with what I do, and for everyone who's watching, what I do is credit repair. That's my number one stream of income. But sometimes I have the problem that people can't afford it. You know what I mean? If they sign up with me in my program, it's just going to put them in a bigger hole. So I'm kind of implementing, making it's going to be like a $27 course that I'll be dropping, and it'll basically be something that anyone can afford, whether you're coming out of high school, coming out of college, just got a divorce and you're trying to figure out some stuff with your situation, but just education, trying to help anyone I can, you know what I mean, man?
Hell yeah. And where are we going to be able to see this for everybody that's watching to be able to take advantage of it if they think it's going to be helpful?
So I can, I really don't have it completed yet to where it's something I can drop, but if you want to follow me on Facebook, it'll be on there. My Facebook's just Cole, C-O-L-E, Alt, A-L-T is my last name. I'll drop it on there. I'm kind of dropping some info until it's actually done on there. But if you want to follow me on there, you can do it. I'll get with you and we can drop it back on this video once it's a little link for this video, and I'll put something together for everyone who's watching though anyways.
Hell yeah. And that way we can link it, because this is going to go on our podcast as well and transcribe to a blog, so I can put that link in for everybody to be able to just go click and get your content. So
nice, man. Sweet.
Hell yeah. And then besides the new education course that you're coming out with, what have you and Billy been up to?
So another thing we're about to start doing, we're starting a little real estate roadshow. Basically, we have a truck that we bring around and do basic education for realtors, loan officers, basically help them with their social media marketing to give back to them, just to help them since they're sending us business. So we'll be going to Houston, Austin. Eventually, we're going to get out to Florida, some other states, and kind of grow it. But that'll be a deal that we're doing just to go around and help realtors, loan officers, generating leads and being able to help people buy houses. And anyone who can't buy a house, will be able to help them with their credit. But just a way to go around, and it's going to be the Real Estate Roadshow. We're teaming up with Travis Plum on it. So that's another big thing we're working on. We've been hiring a bunch of new salespeople, trying to grow on that end as well. Got a couple new guys coming in. Really just trying to implement what we learned, man,
Hell yeah. Now, before we get into kind of your story and how you and Billy got to where you are today, tell everybody that's watching or that's going to listen and watch here throughout the next few days or weeks, where can they get a hold of you and Billy to take part of joining your guys' program if they need credit help for either buying a house or their business or whatever it may be? where can they find you guys to be able to get in contact and take advantage of that?
So my personal number, it's 903-780-1495. They can call me there whenever they want. I'm at the office every day, Monday through Friday. I'm kind of around on the weekends seeing affiliates and referral partners and stuff like that. But I work every day from sun up pretty much to sundown. If there's someone to be helped and I can change someone's situation, I'm about it. So that's my personal number. Then my email is just cole@700creditrepair.com. 700creditrepair.com, Cole@700creditrepair. You can reach me there as well. And then on Facebook also, just Cole Alt, ALT is my last name. So any of those, our office number is 972-279-0444, and then extension 2, that brings you directly to my sales staff. And they can do a consultation and analysis, actually look at your credit and figure out if it's something we can help with, or if, you can do it on your own, what the situation is. But yeah, reach out if we can help you out. We'd love to. We've been in business for 12 years now, so we're one of the leaders.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And then with your guys' program, do you kind of give a brief, like 30,000-foot view of like what you guys can help with? Is it like tax liens? Is it inquiries? Is it
anything?
Past debt? Is it charge-offs?
Yeah, anything that can affect the score, whether it's a bankruptcy, repossession, late payments. We'll go in and we'll clean up any old addresses that are wrong that you've lived at maybe 5 years ago, misspelled names, just because, man, what our deal is, we try to eliminate as many red flags as we can for the lender whenever the customer goes to apply, you know what I mean? So, but
Okay.
anything, man, we can work with anything. And then we also help with building credit. So if someone doesn't have something open, the biggest thing for them would just be opening a credit card. So we'll help them build some credit, and then we remove bad, ends with a new score. But literally, man, any situation, whether they're 700, 450, I have people who call me that are 750s wanting to be 8s, 300s wanting to be 400, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter, as long as they want to help themselves, we can help them out.
Hell yeah. And then is it kind of hands off for your client, or do you work like hand in hand with them and guide them through certain things to keep? So once you fix their score, do you like give them tips to how to keep it there, or is it kind of like on their own at that point?
So that's really what sets us out from everyone else and makes us stand out is that we're our hands-on approach. So the first thing that we do with them, we'll do a full-length credit analysis, look through all 3 reports, and make sure that they know exactly what's going on. Because that's the thing. We can fix it, man, but if they don't understand what to do and what not to do, they're going to be right in the same boat, a year down the road, 2 years down the road. So we want to make sure this is an investment that they're going to make, and it's going to be good for the rest of their life. So what you're saying, we've got a little membership and VIP site. It's basically a little ClickFunnels deal that it's got videos of our 2 presidents, our 2 owners. They going through everything and going through reports, holding up, okay, this is a collection letter. This is what this looks like. And basically just letting them know everything they need to make sure they always have a good credit score. But we hold their hand throughout it, and we do everything on our end, handle it 100%. The only thing they have to do is if they need to open a credit card or something like that. But I've got a credit coaching team that basically they're there the whole time. They guide them through the process and say, here's what's going to be happening next. Be looking for this in the mail in 30 days, whatever's going on,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because
Yeah.
that way they can take advantage of your program and then reap the benefits for years to come, rather than just like an immediate quick fix. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly, man. And really who we help, is people who have been through a rough time. Me and you are both entrepreneurs. I've been through it, credit issues and trying to start my business and getting out of school and all that. So, I believe in second chances. There's people out there that are trying to cheat the system and all that, but there's also people that just went through a divorce or, a bankruptcy, whatever the situation is, and had a rough time in their life. And unfortunately with credit, it stings for longer than I think it should be. People make mistakes and stuff happens. So anyways, man, that's
definitely. I mean, and it's funny that you say the we're both entrepreneurs thing, because because we are, but as an entrepreneur, you don't particularly think about credit first. You think about, okay, how can I help? How can I help the people I'm trying to help? How do I take care of my team? How do I take care of what needs to be done? And credit's kind of put on the wayside. And then, like for me, we've been going through a pretty large hit from a prior client who's defrauded us now and caused a large amount of money to have to be withdrawn. And it's been in 2 disputes. And now we're filing legal against them, sent them to collections for charges that they need to pay. And during all of that, we were looking to get kind of just a float to cover those charges so that we didn't have to pull it from the account.
Right.
So we were still at a stationary level. And so I hit up a bunch of guys here at Sprout. Huge shout out to David and Evan, by the way, on Jonathan's team at Sprout Financial. They've been nothing but helpful. And reached out to Marshall and Adam to get new processing put in place so we had a more secure processing center. And during all of that, we found out that because I'm president of this company, my credit influences it, and my credit's not super great. So it wasn't where we needed it to be able to do that. So we've got to wait like 6 months or a year for that to level out before we can take a float like an LLC. And we didn't even think about that before. And I know I didn't. But once it got brought up, I'm like, oh shit, I really need to buckle down and fix that. So
that's the thing, man. It's not a priority till something happens. You know, we're trying to invest all our money in our business and put it back into the business and keep the business growing. And the last thing we're thinking about is a 3-digit number that is something that I can't read and understand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
when I was in college, my dad owned a credit repair company, and I didn't care about it then. And I came out, and my student loan screwed me over. So that's the thing, man. But that's how quick it can happen. One customer that, you know, because that I'm sure you have that money still probably hung up, and going to be hung up for probably a couple weeks or so, I'd imagine.
Oh, probably 3 months, 4 months.
Shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Minimum of 90 days, average of 120 days, and then however long jurisdiction takes for the legal side of things. So we're probably looking at 4 months, 5 months maybe.
Man, dude. Well, if you need me to look at some stuff and help you, whatever, just let me know. But you're in good hands.
Yeah, I may. We've got some other stuff we've got to work out first before I start jumping into that, because I've got to make sure that like payroll and stuff is taken care of before I start worrying about fixing my personal stuff. But I appreciate the offer, man. We'll definitely be in touch on that. So let's how comfortable are you having uncomfortable conversations to the world, man?
Let's get uncomfortable, man.
Let's do it. Let's tell your story.
Say that again?
Let's tell your story, man. All the nitty gritty, the dirty, the grimy. Let's tell it.
Oh, all right, man. You want me to just start, or you want to ask me a question first to start it off, or how you want to roll it?
Just start, man. Just start telling your story.
All right, cool. So, man, I'm 25 now. I grew up in East Texas, Tyler, Texas, real small town. Went to a private Catholic school from the time I was 4 years old till I graduated. Growing up, my parents got divorced when I was in 6th grade, which was, I'm glad it happened because I learned so much from it. You know, I didn't like it at the time. It screwed me a little bit, but basically, man, growing up, you know, my dad was in the manufactured home business. He worked for a company called Palm Harbor Homes. He worked for them for probably 19 years, ran a couple different lots for them, was a regional manager, got to making real good money. We lived on the lake and probably $1.5 million house, had it all. But our family was, you know, just torn to shreds. We weren't really a family, you know what I mean? My mom and dad hated each other. We grew up and we had fun and had everything, had toys, boats, all that shit, you know what I mean? Anything we wanted. And long story short, the financial crash hit, and I guess the home industry crashed in 2007, 2008. We lost everything, completely everything. I mean, we were the first, basically whenever the lenders shut down and all the mortgage industry crashed, manufactured housing, we were the first one to lose all our lenders, because we went from 250 lenders to one, and it was cash for my dad. So his company, I mean, completely shut down. my parents ended up getting a divorce, which was a blessing in disguise. I love my mom to death, love my dad to death, but they're not meant to be together. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
I learned a lot with that being at a private Catholic school. I don't know. It kind of fucked with me for a while just because I had all these perfect little families around me, you know what I mean, that went to church every Sunday. And, on Friday nights, I was hearing my mom and dad tell each other they want to get hit by a bus or go kill yourself, whatever, not that extreme, but there were some wild times that it was, it screwed with me for a little bit having to be in such a tight knit, like secluded private Catholic school. You can only do this way. You can only act like this. Don't do this, Cole. You know what I mean? So it kind of messed with me being such a secluded little deal and having such a screwed up family at the time, which everything's good now. Both of my parents are remarried and happy. But after that, my dad ended up moving to Dallas and kind of restarted, married Melissa, who's my stepmom and actually oversees all our day-to-day activities here at 700 Credit Repair. But they kind of restarted, both of them. My mom does a logistics company down in Tyler, her and her husband. So everything's good now. But I ended up going to Texas Tech after I got done with school out in Lubbock. So I went from secluded little tight-knit group Catholic school, like do this, don't party, don't drink, don't have sex, don't do this, to a public, huge university, the second largest campus in the nation, to where I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. So it was a real reality check for me. I think the first semester I pledged and rushed and did the fraternity deal and all that. And I think my first semester I made like a 0.67 or something, which I don't even know if my mom or dad know that yet. But dude, I say I failed. I went straight in the ground. Boom. Like I didn't give a shit. All I wanted to do was, I never got to do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I never got to drink and party and hang out and, go to the
You're
bar.
an all or nothing type of guy, huh?
Yeah, I'm all or nothing, man. And I had never got to do that. I was opened up to this world where like you could do whatever you wanted, and every night there was a bar party, you know what I mean? So I had a blast and I wouldn't change it for anything. But I went to school for probably I want to say like 2 years. I was actually in school, just trying to get my shit together and figure it out. And finally I realized school wasn't for me. I think it's spring of 2015. I was trying to do school and trying and working at the same time, just couldn't make it work. And spring 2015, I had like a bunch of bad shit just line up back to back. Right at the beginning of the year, my house got broken into, front door got kicked in. I lived right on the main road in Lubbock, which Lubbock's kind of a there's some sketchier parts. I don't know. It's out there by Midland and all that, but my house.
I'm slightly familiar with the Lubbock area. One of my old exes, her entire family was from Lubbock. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm a little familiar with it. It's kind of a odd little town.
Yeah, it is, man. It definitely is. I love it and I hate it, honestly. It was the best thing ever doing was getting out of Lubbock, Texas for me. But basically my house got broken into. I was doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing. My laptop got stolen with all my computer or all my schoolwork on it, and a couple guns, a bunch of cash. The next day I had to put my dog down. That was terrible, which I'm a big hunter, so I have hunting dogs and all that, bird dogs. So I had to put my dog down. A couple weeks later, my grandpa died from cancer. And then something else happened right after that. Oh, I got in a wreck doing some dumb shit with some buddies out on a back road late at night. Ended up messing up my back, figuring out that my back was messed up. So finally I was just like, man, I got to get out of here. Like, this ain't for me. School ain't for me. Lubbock isn't for me. The best thing I can do is go home, restart, figure my shit out, get my mind right, figure out what I need to do, because school isn't it, and Lubbock, Texas is the last place I need to be. So I called my dad really just because I didn't have any other options at the time, and called him. I said, man, because I had done some stuff for him during high school after he started the company, and throughout college helped him with some stuff, marketing stuff and stuff like that. But I called him and I was like, man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I'm tired of being up here. This is the worst place for me to be. I need to get out. He said, man, come work for me. Come work for me. We're killing it. I'll put you on. You can start selling, put you on sales. I'll do you a little draw to get you started. So I came back and started working for him, and absolutely loved it, man. Me and him are best friends, really. After I turned 18, we just kind of clicked into best friends and buddies as opposed to son and dad, which is a weird way to put that relationship, but that's just how me and him are. We'll get in a fight and then we'll hug and drink a beer right after, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird how we operate, which we've kind of had a different relationship than most fathers, sons throughout our life, but I wouldn't change any of it, man. I learned a lot through it. So I came back and I started working with him, started killing it with him. We were right beside each other, and how I learned everything is I sat next to him for probably 90 days and just mimicked exactly what he did, and loved the part of helping people, didn't love the part of being like a career repair salesman, you know, while all my buddies were going to school and doing this and that. So it kind of took me a minute to kind of, you know, get the attitude of fuck it what people think, forget what the world thinks. And I still struggle with that some, just because of how I came up with Catholic school and thinking that people are judging me and all that stuff. That's one of my biggest things, is just when I walk into a room thinking that everyone's looking at me, you know what I mean, and judging who I am, just because I always went to that school, and you know, everyone's family was so perfect, and I knew that people were wondering what was going on with my mom and dad and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I ended up coming back with him. We started rocking and rolling, and probably a year after we worked together, we ended up getting teamed up with Stuman, and my dad's got some stuff with his past too, and Stuman kind of broke us loose of, you know, the past is a past, and who really cares, man? Like, whatever happened, but it's all about how you move forward and how you adjust it and how you adapt and how you figure out what you're going to do next. You know what I mean? But that's kind of the short little story of my life quickly.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being open and honest. I know everybody that's going to be watching this is going to appreciate too. It's everything that we try to do on here with the Inbound Secret is just raw content. Like, we just want to tell our story, tell people some vital information that can help them, get them connected with people that can connect, and just really try and do exactly what Ryan helped you guys do and what Ryan's helped me do. And it's why I keep going to his events and keep participating in things, because I had followed him for I'd followed Billy for a little bit because I saw his stuff coming out, and I followed Ryan for about a year, 2 years before I even participated in anything. And then participated in one program, loved it, and then joined Apex, been doing that. And now I'm in talks about doing PTE, just taking it to the next level and seeing how that goes. And it's been huge, man. It's been that mindset shift where you go from, well, I need to fit in this box and care about other people's opinions, to fuck other people's opinions. I'm going to do me and make sure that I take care of me and my tribe, was huge.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's crazy. And man, that's really what's helped our business so much, is just like being completely transparent. Like, you know, like, for example, if one of my realtors' customers' scores drops, instead of beating around the bush and ignoring the question, you know, just call them and be straight up with them. Hey, here's what happened. Here's how it worked. Like, how are we going to fix it and move forward? My story with Ryan's stuff is kind of the same. We kind of followed him for probably 6 to 8 months, and finally, after reading all his stuff, I was like, dude, we got to join some of his shit, man. Like, we got to get in here. So we did a 6-month consulting deal with him, and after doing the 6-month consulting with him, we went straight to, it used to be called Tribe, PTE was, but we went straight to the highest up deal just because of the value we saw and how much it changed our lives and changed our business, just of what he was teaching and what we were implementing and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, and above everything that Ryan does, the community that he's built in everything. Like you and me got to know each other over at MDM, and me and Billy got to know each other a little bit more over at SDL. And every time we go to an event, it's just a giant, tight-knit family of a bunch of dysfunctional, successful people, or people that are working to become successful. But we all have a past, and I think that's what resonates with him. Because, I mean, I've made – one of my favorite things that Ryan's always talked about that all of us have repeated at some point is being a prolific mistake maker. Because basically my adolescence to the end of my college career, so to speak, I was a disaster. I mean, I made mistakes that should have never been made, got into legal trouble, screwed up relationships with my family, friendships. It was just making bad decisions. And it was similar to part of your story where you're talking about going out and like just partying hard and doing all of these crazy things. And I don't regret any of it. I learned a lot from it, but it's definitely part of my life that it took me a while to be comfortable talking about, because I didn't want anybody out there to know. Like I was always taught in my prior business and prior jobs that personal life and business are separate. And it took me a long time to come to the conclusion with people like Ryan and Billy and you and other people that I've met through MDM and Sean Whalen and all of them, just kind of reinforcing it and seeing how they've been able to do it while just being transparent about who they are and what they've gone through and what they're going through. It took me a long time to get to that point where I'm like, yeah, this is me. I fucked up. I'm not anymore, but it happened.
Yep. Shit happens, man. And it's crazy how much that'll do for you personally, like just letting that loose, you know what I mean? Like just being able to breathe and like not worry about it, you know?
Definitely.
I remember my worst deal that I did. And when this was really the final straw, this is the part I forgot about, the last deal that in the line of events of fuck ups and stuff going bad. I was coming back from Dallas, going back up there, got pulled over. Luckily, all I had a quarter of an Adderall is what it was in the bottom of a bag. Ended up going to jail for 26 hours over that stupid shit. But finally, I was like, man, I got lucky on that one. Like it was just a quarter of an Adderall, not a bunch of other shit. So like I got lucky, like to calm down, you know, relax a little bit, like ended up beating all that stuff and got off my record and expunged. But man, after that, I was like, shit, I don't want to go back there. That's not the life for me. Like they told me if I come back there, it was going to be bad. So I can't go back. Yeah. So I just got my shit together, man, and figured it out. And I wouldn't change it, though. You're right on that. I wouldn't change it for anything. There's so much I learned from all the mistakes and all the screw-ups and all the broken relationships and girls being mad and parents being mad, my mom being mad or whatever. But it is cool to be able to relate with all you guys through Stewman stuff and all that for sure, man.
Oh, definitely. It's been a wild ride. My biggest, I guess, aha moment was kind of a collaboration of several different instances over a short period of time. And long story short, the most recent occurrence is probably about 7 years ago now. And I ended up getting a DUI. Spent some time in for it, booked out. Ended up costing me like $30,000 because I had to pay the attorney fees and court fees and restitution. It was just a whole mess. And after that, I actually had quit drinking completely for about 2 years, 3 years. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a drop. And I mean, now I enjoy a beer every now and then and have a cocktail every now and then, like Sunday dinner if I'm in an event having fun. But I used to be the dude that would go down and I'd be able to pound 6 pitchers and think I'm great. Now I'm like 2 beers in. I'm like, I'm good for the night. I've got to drive. Like, I'm not doing that again.
It just isn't. And I should have had the same thing. For me, I got lucky. I never got one. But it's just like, man, if you know, it's not worth it in the end. If you got so much potential and so much, talent, and like everyone's got some kind of talent. Everyone, I don't care what anyone says. People think that there's not anything for them. There's people that beat themselves up and think they're worthless and all that. But no matter what, man, everyone's meant for something, So like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Big thing for me, like, because there's been times when I've been depressed and felt worthless. Like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, what the world doesn't need me. Like, what am I gonna give back to the world? You know what I mean? So that's just a big thing that I realized too through stuff like that. Was just like, no, everyone's got a purpose. Everyone's got a point. God put you on this earth for a reason, whether you believe in God or believe in something else, whatever you believe in, I don't care. But there is a higher power, I think, and there's a reason that everyone's here and a reason for all of us being together, and there's a purpose for everything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and 2 of my favorite things that like I'll preach all day long is, and one of them actually has a lot to do with you and everybody else. But the first is, like, if you've got, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you do graphic arts, if you mow lawns, if you paint, if you make crochet, whatever it is that you're good at or that you enjoy, like, you have a moral and ethical duty to share that with the world. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you want to start a nonprofit and teach, if you want to start a course and sell it, if you want to go out and start a business and sell it, but you have a duty to put that out in the world.
Yep.
That's what you're here for, to some extent. And that may change. Like this decade, you may love pottery, and next decade, you may find out that you love artisan construction. But whatever it is that you love, like, go for it. And who cares about somebody else's opinion on it? Just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second thing that I really love is, and this is something that kind of caught me by surprise, but every time I'm around all of y'all and I get to meet everybody that's in Apex, and I go to any of these events, or I catch up with y'all on Zooms, and I see you guys doing big fucking things and making power moves, like, it gets me fired up, because then I'm like, yeah, I gotta fucking step my game up and not get left behind by these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, we just all do it to each other, because I see you guys doing big things, and then I'm like, I gotta do big things, and then somebody sees me do that, and then they do it. It just cause and effect, man. It just helps everybody level up.
Yeah, man. Whenever I see you're winning, I want to win, and it's just like a domino effect. You're exactly right. But one of the things that my grandpa used to say, my dad's dad, he's a real cool dude from Italy, strong Italian. He always say, Cole, if you're gonna sleep with dogs, you're gonna get fleas, man. Like, hang out with winners, you're gonna win. Hang out with losers, you're gonna lose. Like, at the end of the day, he used to say that to me when I was 7, 8 years old, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about, Papa? Like, I don't know what that means. I don't sleep around with dogs. Like, now I get it, like, if I hang out with people like you and, my dad and Anthony Hudson, winners, people in the group that are doing big things, and I'm going to strive to do that as well. So I try to stay around like-minded individuals, stay positive every morning, and that's what's flipped my life around, man, for sure.
Oh, and it's a weird thing. Like, I mean, I still have friends that are in that old life, but I don't go out of my way to associate with them or go out with them or do any of that. Like, I'm still there if they need, like, if some shit's going down and they need somebody to talk to, they know they can call me. But I spend my time trying to make sure that every day is moving further towards where I want to be and where I want to make sure that everybody that I'm close to and with is, rather than just kind of floating around over here,
For sure, man. For sure.
So there's one thing that I don't know if you've touched on yet, but I want to kind of bring this back full circle a little bit. Tell me about what your guys' results ranch is. Is that where you guys are doing the road show from, or is that kind of another entity?
So the results ranch, it's actually our office. We'll do the road show here, real estate road show. The first one will be held here. It'll be on June 7th. For anybody that's watching that wants to come on out in Rockwall, Texas. If you can make it over Bryce, come on. It'll be held here. But man, we moved over here probably 6 months ago. It's been longer than that. Back in September last year, and we needed a bigger office and kind of needed some room to grow. So, reason we kind of branded it Results Ranch. No one likes credit repair. You know what I mean? Like, you don't freaking roll over to your girlfriend at night and say, I need some credit repair. Like, we need to fix my credit score. There's a reason.
Yeah, I'm from insurance and financial services, and it was the same game. Like nobody wakes up with a hard on for some auto insurance. Like it's not a thing.
Yeah, it's just not sexy, man. It's just not. It's not like a Ferrari or something, you know. So people don't like to use that term because for some people, you know, if they like our Facebook page, for example, 700 credit repair, oh, they're going to think I have credit issues or whatever the situation is. So we kind of rebranded as Billy Alt's Life Changing Results Ranch due to the fact that we just have better success with social media with it, you know. And then we got that 1971 Deuce and a Half, that big truck that was at the event. That's like our big marketing tool. So it wouldn't fit at the old office, though. It wouldn't fit. I mean, there was no way it was working. So we had to do something, and that really was. We were paying $500 a month for a storage building to store it in. So me and Billy, and Melissa ended up having a meeting, and we were like, well, shoot, if we could throw that 500 towards office space, like we could get something bigger. So why don't we just get something with a barn or, you know, a little storage building for it that's behind the back. So we searched and searched for a while and finally found this little place over here in Rockwall that's like it's an old house that they converted over to commercial. And it's probably 2 acres. It's got a little hill up the back, and there's a barn up there that we do our events at. So we call it the life-changing results. So now instead of us doing credit repair, what we're doing is we're changing people's lives. So how that ties in, let's say I have I've had people who are living in government housing and their kids are, you know, around people dealing drugs in the apartment, or they have to get them out of this situation, or I need a car so I can get to work so I can provide for my family. You know, that's the type of stuff that changes people's lives, like getting out of that environment or being able to buy a car with your credit so that you can go get this job and commute to go do that so you can make the money to provide for your family. Another way is like we help realtors and loan officers. So let's say you're only closing 2 houses a month and it's barely cutting your bills. It's barely getting you to cover everything. So what we would do with a realtor is it's like, hey, how many people are you having to tell no that aren't able to get approved? If I could get you 1 extra house a month closed because of I'm changing one of your customers' credit scores and able to get them approved, what would that do for your income and what would that do for your family? Oh my gosh, if I could get another commission check on another house, that would be insane. We could put $1,200 into savings here, and my daughter would be able to do ballet lessons that she wants that I can't afford. I mean, it's crazy how, and it sounds cheesy as hell, and I thought it was cheesy as hell at first, but now I love it, man. It's like we're literally changing people's lives. Like I had a guy the other day.
I love it, man. Just the other day, I saw somebody completely unannounced. Like you didn't ask for it. Billy didn't ask for it. Nobody in the group asked for it. But I forget what his name was, but him and his wife were able to just put an offer in on a house, and they're closing here in like a month. And it's because of what you guys did. Like he would have never been able to do it. And it took, I think it was September that they started.
Yeah.
And now they're buying their first house for them and their family at, I think it was like a 4.5 interest rate on it, which is phenomenal. Yeah. And you guys definitely were instrumental in changing their life, because they went from where they were just getting by to now being able to execute on one of their dreams, which was to own their own home. And they're now able to do that in less than a year, which is phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, I was excited for him, man. And there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, this is stressful, and I'm dealing with these reports, and I get mad sometimes, but at the end of the day, whenever I see stuff like that, it makes it all worth it. To make that I'm making an impact and helping somebody that didn't think they could be helped. That guy had actually went through a bankruptcy 2 or 3 years ago, and it was dismissed or discharged. I can't remember, but we basically cleaned up all the stuff that was included in that and helped him build
Hell yeah.
drove his score up. So it's cool, man, for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up like realtors and mortgage officers, because that's one of the industries that we love helping too. Because and we love partnering with you guys and Sprout to help them as well. Because when they come in and they're like, look, we're doing 2 or 3 a month and we're just barely scraping by, and then we come in and we're like, well, we've got, like, we do a consultation, and what we do is digital marketing, but that's not all we do. Like, we have that consultation. We're like, okay, well, here's what it looks like you need help on from our conversations and what you've shown us and what you're telling us. Let's put you in contact with these credit repair guys. Let's put you in contact with this PEO to help with your HR, and then let's take care internally of like your marketing needs. And we could probably get you from like 3 houses to maybe 10. Yeah. And that just changes their life almost overnight, because now they've got all of those little holes that their boat was sinking with completely filled, and now they're just floating along doing exactly what they got into the business to do. And you're right. Like, I spend hours at night or hours during the day putting things together and writing copy and reaching out to our contractors and some of our developers and making things happen and move along. And there's delays and there's tech issues and there's communication issues. And what?
I said, dealing with people trying to screw you out of money, charging you back and shit.
I've been dealing with that for 6 months, and all of that put together, like, it's stressful. Like, you get to a point where you're just like, fuck, it's 5, I need a beer. And then somebody hits you up, or you see something happen, and like, you see somebody close something that's a client of yours, or you see somebody be able to go buy that house, or you see that, like, we referred somebody to you guys, and all of a sudden they bought a new car that they could have never done before. And then it's just all worth it. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing this. Like,
I ain't slowing down. I got to get back at it. That's all it takes, man. It's
yep.
Just one positive thing, or like we were talking about earlier, it's just back to the mindset.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Well, let's wrap up so we don't take up too much more of these guys' time. And I know you've got to get back to it here shortly. So what are some last minute tips, tricks, contact info that you'd like to leave everybody here that's watching?
So my email is Cole, COLE, at 700creditrepair.com. I've got that on my phone. You can reach out to me then wherever. My phone number is 903-780-1495. That's my cell. And then my office number is 972-279-0444. And my extension's 109. So that's 972-279-0444, extension 109. That's normally the best way to reach me. If I don't answer, just leave me a message. I get right back. Let me look at my Facebook / thing real quick so I can mention that. I think it's /. Yeah, it's just facebook.com/ColeAlt. ALT is my last name. But man, if I can't help someone, I don't take their money. You know what I mean? That's why we've got to where we're at. If I do, it just bites me in the ass in the long run. You know what I mean? They're gonna not get results if I can't help them. So if I can't help you, I'll tell you straight up. If at least I can do is look at it, go through your reports with you, say, hey, do this, don't do that, pay these down. But whatever, man. If anyone needs help, just reach out to me and holler at me, and I'd love to help y'all out. But I love.
Oh yeah, man, I appreciate it.
That was a good talk. I feel like, man, I know it. I didn't feel like it was as long as it was, and I'm glad you kind of broke me out of my comfort zone, because honestly, I've never done that before, and I was sweating there for a little bit.
No, it's real good. And I know everybody that's watching this is going to appreciate it. So let's wrap up real quick. You and me will continue here on the phone for a few after. decide if you want me to send this to you, if you want me to mail it, however you want to get it to you so you can use it as well. And then we'll make sure that we can just help all these people that are going to be able to see it, and they can reach out to you. Remember, if you guys need any credit repair, mortgage prep, if you guys are trying to buy a house, refinance for the business, whatever you've got going on, reach out to my man Cole here at 700 Credit Repair. He dropped his info earlier. And then if anybody needs help with digital marketing, Google, SEO, content creation, creatives, you need some videography, or maybe you just need to toss ideas around to figure out where you're at, you can reach me at bryce@drivenroi.com or find us at results.closemorebiz.com. And then my personal number is 208-629-9216. Thanks for being part of the Inbound Secret, y'all. Speak soon.
Appreciate it, man.